I never imagined a food delivery would end with someone in handcuffs, least of all my neighbor. But that's what happened the day Sheila Watkins, self-proclaimed queen of our HOA, decided my takeout habit violated community standards. It started 3 months after I moved into Oakwood Estates, where every mailbox matches, lawns are trimmed to exactly 3 inches, and smiles feel like HOA-approved accessories. I work from home as a software developer, meaning I live off delivery apps. One Friday night, after a brutal coding sprint, I ordered a feast from my favorite steakhouse. When the app set arrived, I waited. No knock. No doorbell. I checked the photo confirmation and froze. My food was sitting on a porch 3 doors down. That's how I met Sheila Watkins. Early 60s, hair so shellacked it could deflect bullets, teal front door gleaming behind her. The unmistakable scent of my steak drifted from her kitchen. "Excuse me," I said, keeping my tone polite. "I think the driver left my order here." Her smile was thin and practiced. "Oh, I'm afraid that's impossible. The HOA prohibits deliveries after 6 p.m. Section 12.3. I blinked. "That's my dinner. I paid for it. I've already disposed of it properly," she said, shutting the door. "Welcome to Oakwood Estates." I stood on her porch, $75 poorer and still hungry. The next morning, a violation notice appeared in my mailbox, complete with HOA letterhead and a signature. The rule didn't exist. I let it go. Not worth war over one stolen steak. But Sheila wasn't finished. Every time I ordered food, it vanished. Sometimes she told drivers I canceled. Once she claimed to be my wife. Another time she cited parking violations. By month's end, I'd lost nearly $300 in meals. Enough. I installed a doorbell camera and started collecting footage. Neighbors whispered about her history, cutting down the Petersons' maple tree, finding a family for their daughter's chalk art. "No one stands up to her," one said. So I decided to. I placed a massive $520 order from a French restaurant, Wagyu tartare, truffle entrees, expensive wine, the works. I wasn't buying dinner. I was setting bait. From my window, I watched the delivery car roll in. Right on cue, Sheila marched out, intercepting the driver like a customs officer. "Community regulations require me to accept all deliveries," she declared. I hit record. When the driver handed her my order, I called the police. "My neighbor's been stealing my food deliveries. Today she took over $500 worth. I have video evidence." 20 minutes later, 2 patrol cars glided into our cul-de-sac. I watched from my window as officers knocked on Sheila's door. She greeted them with her usual poise, but when the badges flashed, that veneer cracked fast. One officer came to my house. "Your neighbor says she was enforcing HOA rules." I showed him the bylaws on my phone, no mention of deliveries, and the doorbell clips of her thefts. When he saw the digital receipt for $523.47, his expression hardened. Minutes later, Sheila was standing in her driveway, face pink with fury, hands cuffed behind her back as officers led her to the cruiser. Later, one officer returned for my statement. "She's being charged with grand larceny," he said. "We found your entire order in her fridge. Wine's still on the counter." He smiled faintly. "Apparently HOA authority doesn't extend to stealing dinner." Word spread fast. The next evening, an emergency HOA meeting packed the community center. Sheila's name was the only agenda item. One by one, neighbors shared their own stories, threatened fines, illegal citations, petty punishments. When it was my turn, I didn't speak. I just pressed play. The footage showed Sheila intercepting deliveries in her bathrobe, in gardening gloves, even mid-phone call. The room buzzed with outrage. The board voted unanimously to remove her that night. Howard, the vice president, announced a full audit of the HOA finances. Miss Watkins has been released on bail, he added, but she's facing felony charges. 2 days later, a knock came at my door. Sheila stood there, unrecognizable. Her perfect hair hung limp, her voice thin and trembling. My attorney says I need to make restitution. She handed me an envelope. This covers everything you lost, plus interest. I took it but didn't open it. Thank you. She lingered. You don't understand, she whispered. I gave everything to maintain standards here. Now I could lose my license, my career, my reputation, over a misunderstanding. Her eyes glistened. For the first time, she wasn't the tyrant of Oakwood Estates, just a woman watching her empire crumble. That wasn't my intention, I told her quietly. I just wanted to eat in peace. She opened her mouth to respond, but the cheerful chime of my phone cut through the silence. I glanced at the screen and smiled. Excuse me, I said. That's my lunch delivery. I paused, just long enough to let the moment hang. I think it'll actually make it to my door this time.